Hi, this is Zach here with the Bulletin Board Heroes here at Zach's Traders Cafe for Monday, the 30th of June. Starting on with the FTSE 100, which has failed to sustain price action back above 8,800, which is what we wanted it to do. Initial support there at 8,700, which is the floor of the post late May range. And then we've got the 50-day line, 86.72, which is sort of the long stop level in terms of support that we are thinking about at the moment. End of day close above 8,800 now, probably looking for a direct move to the top of that rising trend channel from the spring of last year as high as 90.20 by the end of July. RSI still above neutral 50 at 52, so that's a positive look at the moment. Speaking of positive looks, and we've got Bear Trap Island reversal bouncing off the 50-day line for the DAX. We're now back above the old March resistance at 23,500 and looking for 25,000 basically at the top of that rising trend channel from the spring of last year by the end of next month. At this stage, only the end of day close back below 23,500 and the 50-day line really delaying the upside scenario, especially given the way that the RSI now at 57 is right at the box seat for further gains. Moving on to the Dow, and here had a fantastic end to the week with the break of neckline resistance and that inverted head and shoulders. That inverted head and shoulders is about 7,000 points long. So on that basis, a measured move would take us up to 50,000, but we don't get too excited too soon. We've got a rising trend channel there, 47,000 at the top of that, which is probably end of August target at the earliest. Initial target, obviously, the late December, or the December and February resistance for this market at 45,000, which we're looking for well before the end of next month. Double RSI rebound as well suggests that this could be a decent, i.e., big move to the upside. Surprising that Bitcoin is at a standstill above the 50-day line there, around 105, especially given the way that crypto companies or crypto strategy companies are buying Bitcoin every day. Top of the channel here at 125. We're looking for that by the end of next month. If we can get a quick break of the May resistance line there at 109, ideally over the next week or so. RSI at 55, so in a good place for a fresh move to the upside while we're above that 50-day line. Moving on to gold, and here you can see that this market is at the floor of the rising trend channel near the 50-day line as well. Initial support here around 33.15, initial resistance around 34.35, which is an April resistance line. Best case is that we have a quick clearance of that April resistance line and get to 3,800, I suppose realistically now by the end of August, not the end of July. On the downside, 32.50, the late May support, the place we're looking at, and that is definitely the case while we remain above RSI 50 in terms of the indicator there, currently at 48, so there's a risk of a move down to 32.50. Moving on to the stocks and situation which I've never heard of before, which is Amcomri rather, and here you can see that we've got a rising trend channel from March, top of the channel there, heading for 130. We're looking for that by the end of next month, while we remain on the right side of the latest gap at £1. On to another stock which doesn't get much airtime either here or anywhere else, which is active Opps, but did get enough airtime to for us to draw a broadening triangle there heading for 157 pence. We're looking for that by the end of next month, while we remain above the latest support at 126 pence on an end of day close basis. I hope that'll be hit soon. Asia Met may be back after a long absence. Here the consolidation has been rather slow, but we're back above the 50-day line, back above RSI 50 as well. If you're fussy, you wait for an end of day close through 0.99, which is that resistance line there from May, and then look for 1.25 pence by the end of next month if we can get a quick break of the 1p area, ideally over the next week. While we're above 0.85 recent support, at least we are regarding this as a potential break to the upside. Now, the situation which we haven't looked at for quite some time is Boston International. And here the idea is that we're in a rising trend channel base, top of the channel there, 0.73, and we're looking for that perhaps by the end of August on the basis that we've got a rising 50-day line near the base, sideways shuffle for the shares. near the lows as well, which tends to be a strong signal, as is the way that this formation here is starting to look like a bull flag. And initial target, obviously, the 200-day line, 0.44, and upside valid while we hold above the 50-day line at 0.28. On to Blue Star, which seems to be going from strength to strength. The sizzle here is that on the daily chart, there isn't really much between the 26 pence level, which is that October 23 resistance line, and the 2023 resistance at 60 pence. We'll have to see whether the shares agree with that scenario, but end of day close above 26 or 26 and above, and 60 pence could be the destination as soon as the end of August. Moving along to Cobra, which has delivered a decent disposal and broken the top of the range and the old target there, 1.58. Above that, we're looking for a fresh leg to the upside, 2.1 pence, perhaps as soon as the end of next month. Gemfields, an interesting situation at the moment. Looks as though we are up and away. We've closed the gap there at 5.86 as the gap closed buy signal. Looking for the top of the channel and the 200-day moving average area around 7.4 pence by the end of next month, especially while we remain on the right side of 6 pence. Gear for Music is next, if only for the reason that the shares have nearly hit the target line there, the red one there, at around £2.52. The current situation is interesting in the sense that doesn't seem to be much in the way of resistance for the shares until you get back above the the old support from 2022 on the way down, and that was the old resistance on the way down around £3.77. So let's see if above £2.50 the shares can head towards £3.70 over the next 1 to 2 months. Ideally, we stay above recent resistance on the way up, £2.15. On to Genip, where I see that the company's delivered an interview this morning. You can see that we've got the shares breaking that line of resistance there from January 25 and looking for 45 pence by the end of next month, which is the top of that rising trend channel from back in November. Ideally, we stay on the right side of the 200-day moving average at 28 pence, or even the broken resistance line there at 30, ahead of a move to the upside. Solvonis is a stock which we've covered here quite a few times in the recent past, and it's doing well. We're approaching the 0.28 target there, our initial one. Above that, don't really see anything on the chart between there and 0.45, and that 0.45 a target for next month. Finishing, well, no, one more to go after this actually. Seeing Machines is next, and May resistance there at 2.6 pence. Initial target here, the 200-day line at 3.3, but best case would be up to 5.25 pence by the end of next month if we can get a quick clearance of that 200-day line over the next week. Finishing off with Wishbone, which is now forever cited as a replacement or an alternative to Greatland Gold. Here we've been looking for 0.5 pence above the initial target there at 0.28 and hoping for 0.5 by the end of next month. That's it for me today. More updates tomorrow.